Baiken's existence is meant to represent what it means to be enlightened. Baiken undergoes a very treacherous journey in the story of Guilty Gear. She had to have herself be saved by the people around her, once a lone samurai now has an adopted family. In this video, we're going to analyze Baiken's themes and how they illustrate Baiken's journey in Guilty Gear. However, you obviously need context on who Baiken even is. Baiken was born and raised in Japan. Life was normal until the time of the Crusades, the major war between Gears and humanity. That man, the villain of the entire Guilty Gear franchise, ordered Justice, his gear creation, to nuke Japan. Justice did as she was commanded, leaving Japan in ruins. Baiken on this day lost everything she ever had, every single thing, and suffered devastating wounds to her eye and arm, inhibiting her abilities. This event would traumatize Baiken heavily and harder for the years to come. However, she did not let her stop her though. She honed her skills and started traveling across the world as a lone samurai, hunting for revenge on Gears, but more specifically that man as he caught the madness that occurred. Now that we know who exactly Baiken is, we can analyze the songs. So let's go back to the beginning, with the song Momentary Life. With this song, there's an extremely present use of the shamisen, the famous East Asian instrument that you're hearing over the guitar. It acts as a meatloaf, you know, it sounds devastated and very melancholy. Take a listen. The shamisen also seems to be in unison with other instruments present in the song. The events of Guilty Gear went on a little bit after the Crusades, so here, buried on the electric guitar that made Baiken seem so rash and boisterous, is the one that's just deeply hurting from her trauma mentally. And yet it's emphasized that Baiken's confidence in the guitar is pretty tame here. Keep in mind, the electric guitar will be a recurring symbol within each song we dissect. As for Guilty Gear X's, it's good, but I couldn't really find it for much symbolism in it, so we're gonna be skipping over that one. Next is a song that I doubt anybody would be expecting. It's not part of the main series, but off to the side. It stands out from Baiken's other themes, that being Guilty Gear Zuka's Drumhead Pulsation. Now, Zuka's a spin-off, so its rather unique themes actually do make sense, and I'm only just discovering the existence of the song, funnily enough. Anyways, the song starts with a chanting crowd and maybe even some type of war drum. This ties back to Baiken and the Crusades because this is gonna get a little head-cannon. What if those war drums are actually the military march of the Japanese during the Crusades, until their unfortunate demise? Theories aside, the riffs here are actually very catchy, and the shamisen is also very present within too. The song's entire vibe exudes confidence, which to me at least is what Baiken was in the X era of Guilty Gear. Even with her trauma, she has a sense of cockiness or arrogance. In this theme, it seems to be a manifestation of that. But also, again, notice that guitar overriding most of the other instruments. With the vibe this song gives, I believe for this case, it's meant to reveal Baiken's arrogance is getting the better of her. Which is where the next song comes in. This theme explores Baiken's mental and internal struggles. Let's rock! There's a lot to unpack within Rokumon. It's a very multi-layered song. Rokumon starts with a riff from Momentary Life, but things are a little bit different. Instead of the once glorious shamisen reminding Baiken of Japan, it's now been replaced with an electric guitar, which shows Baiken's undying vengeance. It builds up more and more until it's abruptly cut off into a new riff. However, elements of the riffs of Momentary Life still persist, and it seems like a constant interjection everywhere you hear it. This constant riff that won't go away can be representative of Baiken's PTSD. No matter where she travels, that day during the Crusades will always haunt her. However, the song then breaks the ice with a plethora of Japanese instruments that cut the chaotic guitar short, making a shift in Baiken. The guitar then goes along, and whenever it takes over, it doesn't sound too chaotic. Instead, it sounds pretty confident, bold, and unwavering. And lastly, it ends with another momentary life leitmotif, this time with the shamisen to reflect Baiken being able to forgive herself. But let's talk more about that shamisen. In the events of Guilty Gear, Angie's always wanting Baiken as she'll be killed by that man if she tries to contest with him. Baiken's very hard to get through with rationale, so she's always going to be going her own way no matter what people say. If we take that and apply it to Rokumon, the shamisen can also represent Angie, and the guitar can represent Baiken. The guitar throughout the entire song is always overpowering the shamisen, similar to Baiken's refusal to acknowledge Angie's warnings. But the shamisen does have its chance to shine, and it's comparative to Angie when he finally is able to get through to Baiken. And so, Baiken gives up going after that man, and her vengeance and PTSD, being the momentary life rifts, fade into the past. Baiken's ready to start anew, which is exactly where the next song starts off. Mirror of the World is meant to come full circle with Baiken's journey from beginning to end. It is also just as multi-layered as Rokumon. The very start emanating to loneliness, as Baiken has nobody to accompany her during her travels across the world seeking that man. But then we are hit with chants of Buddhism, with an election guitar backing things up. The guitar takes center stage and gets very aggressive and tough. But then we get the lyrics. Baiken's starting to break free from the massive grudge the past has put onto her and is starting to move on with her life. As for it could be referring to Baiken's name, as the Ken part can mean loud or boisterous, but she has become tame and that part of Baiken has died now. The song also repeats, in which Baiken could be calling herself a savior, as she did say that her blade was not to cut down people, but to cut people free. And there's a moment where the singer shouts and screams for wanting to be alone, which is how Baiken was back then. On the outside, she rejected all kinds of help, but on the inside, she really did want someone to be there, which would later be referenced as the song's tempo changes and takes a breather and brings in Japanese instruments to show Baiken's pride as a Japanese woman that has still not left her at all these years later. But then there's a rhetorical question. I had a comrade. I wonder what I would tell him. Yes, I knew the answer. This is it. Baiken isn't lonely anymore. She has Anji and Delilah by her side, but I believe that her comrade is Delilah, as she's meant to mirror Baiken's past self, wanting nothing but vengeance. The song then kicks into high gear, picking up tempo and giving confidence, as now instead of cuddling vexations, we receive a passionate break off all vexations. It is not enough for Baiken to just stop her revenge, she needs to also save others too, which is highlighted in where Baiken has given up on seeking death on that man and wishes to cut other people free from their shackles. And we are finally given the song's title with and as this is said, the instrumental gives a very enlightening feel as the song starts to calm down a little bit. Now with like that, others need to put down any grudges that they have, which is different for Baiken as she's been through it all, so she can refer to herself as an exile, and as well pain and suffering to make others better. Additionally, the choice of this title is key. In Buddhism, there are two mirrors, a tarnished mirror of agony and a polished mirror that lacks such things, being the Buddha. With this, the mystic law was created to guide others into shining brightly for others. I think you can see where this is going. Anji was a polished mirror from the start, with the rule of the mystic law. He was able to shine his light on Baiken, and Baiken is now able to shine her light on Delilah, and the cycle will only continue. And that's a wrap. That's the core themes of Baiken, analyzed for their symbolism. This took a very long time to get set up, so I'd appreciate any support for the video and whatever. Feel free to discuss any illusions or symbolism you find in Baiken's themes or any other character themes. I want to do this more, but maybe with one-off characters that didn't get a theme to Exile or Strife, but just have their personality like Cliff or Order Soul. Anyways, I'll see you all later. Have a great day. Ciao.